What if the very child a king tried to kill became the one who would destroy his power? This is the story of the deliverer God raised in secret. In a time of fear, when the Nile carried the cries of innocent children, a woman gave birth. She held her son close, her heart pounding with both love and terror, because she knew if anyone found out, he would be taken, killed. But when she looked at him, she saw something different, something special, and she made a decision. She would hide him. Days turned into weeks, weeks into months. Every cry was a risk, every sound could mean death. She held him close in the night, covering his mouth gently when he cried. The family lived in silence, in fear, in constant tension. But a child cannot be hidden forever, and soon the cries grew louder, the danger grew closer, and the mother knew she could not protect him much longer. With trembling hands, she prepared something unusual, a small basket, woven carefully, covered in pitch to keep water out. It was not just a basket, it was her last hope. Tears streamed down her face as she placed her baby inside. Then she carried him to the Nile, the same river that had taken so many. Her heart broke with every step, but she trusted that somehow God would do what she could not. She placed the basket among the reeds and let go. Not far away, a young girl stood watching, hidden, silent, praying, watching the basket drift, not knowing what would happen next. That same day, a royal figure approached the river, surrounded by servants, power, authority, wealth. But none of that mattered in that moment, because something caught her attention. A basket in the reeds. She stepped closer, curious. She opened it, and inside, a baby, crying, helpless. In that moment, something unexpected happened. She felt compassion. This is one of the Hebrew babies. She knew the decree, she knew what should be done, but she could not do it. Instead, she chose mercy. Suddenly, a young girl stepped forward, brave, quick-thinking. "Shall I find a woman to care for the child?" The princess agreed, and just like that, the child was returned to his own mother. The same woman who let him go now held him again. But this time, it was different. She knew this child was not just hers. He had been chosen, protected, preserved for something greater. Years passed, the child grew, and eventually he was taken into the palace, given a new name, Moses, raised as royalty, surrounded by luxury, trained in wisdom, taught the ways of Egypt. But deep inside, he was not Egyptian. He was one of the oppressed. One day, Moses saw something he could not ignore, an Egyptian beating a Hebrew slave. Rage rose inside him. This was his people, his blood, his identity, and in a moment of anger, he acted. He struck the Egyptian and killed him. Silence fell. Fear followed. He hid the body, but the secret did not stay hidden. Pharaoh found out, and Moses became a target. The prince became a fugitive. He ran, far from Egypt, far from power, far from everything he had known. Moses settled in the wilderness, a shepherd now, living a quiet life, watching sheep instead of ruling nations. Years passed, 40 years. It seemed like his story was over, but it wasn't. One day, everything changed. A bush was on fire, but it did not burn. Moses stepped closer, confused, drawn in. Then a voice spoke. "Moses, take off your sandals, for the place you stand is holy ground." The voice continued, "I have seen the suffering. I have heard the cries. I know their pain. I am sending you to bring my people out." Moses froze. Him? A shepherd? A fugitive? What if they don't believe me? What if I fail? I am not strong enough. But the voice answered, "I will be with you." The child who was hidden had been preserved. The child placed in the river had been saved. The man who ran away was being called back, not by chance, but by purpose. Moses turned and began the journey back to Egypt, back to the place of pain, back to confront Pharaoh, back to set his people free. The story of suffering was about to meet the power of God, and everything was about to change.